Massini and I had the pleasure of speaking with Karen Burthwright, this week's Golden Token. We spoke to KB about what it means to be an artist, how we can continue to draw new boxes for ourselves, and of course, the importance of representation. This sage is chock full of wisdom, and we hope you gain as much from this conversation as we did. All right. So, KB, first question.
Yes.
What do you enjoy most about being an artist?
I think it's the storytelling. I love interpreting and transforming using text and music and movement. I feel like it's one of my languages that I speak the best, if that makes any sense. So I like to plug myself in to a place where I'm speaking the language that I was meant to speak.
Right.
To convey and to move a story along and to be part of a story and to transform a space into an entirely new location for those participants, both on stage, in the pit, if there's a orchestra, and in the audience. Other than like being love and light and whatever version of myself that I am in my truest self, I think that's the second best version of me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure.
It's where I feel most at home. It's where I feel most alive, most purposeful, most connected. My true self, I feel like naked and open, if that makes any sense, grounded and barefoot, connected, like my roots connect. And I feel the most invigorated, that connection basically to purpose. I believe it's one of my purposes in life. So yeah, it just really kind of lights that spark in me where I feel like what I'm doing makes a difference and I'm giving.
Yes.
Yeah.
And receiving in equal measure. And yeah, I feel more connected and I feel most myself, which is what, that's what I enjoy doing, is being myself. So.
Of course. And within your artistry, do you have a specific discipline? So do you feel most yourself when you're singing or dancing or choreographing? Like, is there anything specific or is it kind of all encompassing?
I mean, I'll always love to dance because I'm moving the most, if that makes sense, when I'm dancing. Like, I feel like it uses my whole body. For instance, I will do a warm up before I will sing. Like, right. I like to dance before I sing, if that makes any sense, or act, because then I feel alive. Like the blood is flowing, all the juices are connecting and kind of simmering up. You know what I mean? The seasonings are like separating themselves where they need to go. The spice, you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like movement, using my entire body, makes most sense to me. Like, that's what makes my body ready to do anything, prepared to do something, happiest to do something. So yeah, movement first, but just because it makes sense to start there as well, not just because I started there. So it's a bit of both. Like, I honestly, when you get to do all 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever anyone does, to me, that feels best. So all of them at the same time, yes. But I think I can never go on stage without warming up. Let's just say that.
Right.
So my body has to be alive to do any of them. So I think dance, yes. Movement, yes. But just because it turns my body on, so the machine is ready.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. If I had to choose, I don't want to have to choose.
Right. This we don't have to, right? It's like
right.
That, which is amazing.
But also that I feel like I'm doing all the things, because I feel like a good performer or an entertainer is always an actor first. Like, my favorite people to watch are natural storytellers.
Right.
Using all of their gifts in their wheelhouse to convey said story, to move said story along, to connect themselves to said story. Mm-hmm. So if I'm using all of me to do that, in my case, if I'm dancing, I am also then acting. And obviously, we've all sung and danced at the same time if you're a musical theater performer, triple threat. Right. So that's why my answer is dancing, because while I am moving or using movement to enable that story to come to fruition in whatever part of the story we are, that's the most magical for me. That's when I feel most connected, because I'm using all the things, honey.
Yes. Use the game. Okay.
Big bucks for.
Okay. So with that being said, do you have a most memorable moment on stage?
It's really hard to pick one.
I know.
For many reasons. Also because I want them to keep coming, if that makes any sense.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, to accumulate. So if you'll indulge me, I think I'll choose 3 because they are all different as to why they're the most memorable, if that makes any sense.
Yes, absolutely.
So working backwards, Suge Avery changed my life. The Color Purple just as it does, as it should, as you both very much so well know.
Yes.
No need to explain. I'm preaching to the choir. So just because of what it is, and to preface that, it was also one of my favorite musicals before I got to participate in said musical.
Right.
So thank you, ancestors, for that, putting that idea, that seed, that water, that sunshine, that photogenesis. Like it was even better than seeing it, which is still shocking to me to this day.
Yeah.
So that just changed the game for me as a person, as a human, as a Black female, as an actor, as a performer, as a storyteller. That was just, okay, yeah, I was right about the fact that I love to do this. It confirmed everything. And now I know truly what I'm capable of. And I understand the path that it has charted for me and the path that I was on to lead me to that moment, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So that's working backwards. That's one.
Amazing.
Number two was stepping onto a Broadway stage for the first time. Just because of what that means and what that represents and how it felt to do that. And also, again, transitioning from seeing Broadway shows to being in one.
Right.
So again, each moment has a different gem of earthly, beautiful magic and purpose to it because of what it represents and because of where I was at the time and where I am now and where I was before that, or whatever the case may be, the symbolism behind it, you know, and the fact that I live a life with the first breath of gratitude every day. And that was a very grateful moment for me because of what it represented, you know, and also individually, the hard work that led up to that moment specific, you know what I mean? It's not just about Broadway being the end all and be all. I could go my entire career and do excellent work that I'm extremely proud of and never touch a Broadway stage. But for me, I was proud of that moment because of what it represented. And the fact that ironically, I was also on stage with a gaggle of Canadians at the same time. So it was a very unique moment, my specific Broadway debut and that moment, what it meant. And I'm proud of what I do and I love what I do. And that was part of being proud and loving what I do and acknowledging that moment. So there's that. And then moving to the third one was when I stepped on a Stratford stage for the first time. Like I grew up going to Stratford, seeing shows. So there was no Broadway for me in Stratford.
Right.
Young child, you know what I mean? So that was more of an ethereal moment of, wait a minute, I'm stepping onto the stage that I watch the best of the best do what they do.
Yeah.
So again, it's not about one, it's that moment of, oh, wait a minute, this just happened. This means something. Something's happening here. I always love it. I'm always connected, but this is a landmark. This is something to actually like take a moment to say, thank you, Lord, so much for what this means. Yeah. And I hear you. I acknowledge you. I'm getting a bit emotional. I understand what it meant before, but I definitely understand what it means now. And thank you so much, you know? Woo! So yeah, those are my three. Let me drink some water because I'm getting
it means something to you. And it's so amazing to even hear you talk about it. So when these three moments in particular were happening or you were experiencing them, did you think at the time, like, this is something I'll put in my bank of memorable, or did you know at the time that it was different than, say, any other time you stepped on a stage?
Yeah, like, was it a bookmark, basically, for you?
Yes, because I always say, it doesn't matter what theater I walk into, what sign-in sheet I'm signing in, that pride and that hard work and the fact that I belong to exactly what I earned in that moment is always paramount in my mind and my consciousness. But because it added something else to what I normally walk in with, it made me hyper aware. It made me hyper connected to every part of my training, every part of why I do it, every part of what I bring to it, every part of my progress, the fact that I am making progress, that I am in progress, you know what I mean? I am in the pursuit of, and I'm still going. It made me aware, those three moments made me aware of the totality of my career and my existence to that career in this industry. And it made me very proud. And yeah, it's like I spurted a new set of wings. So it meant, oh my gosh, Karen Burthwright, you can fly higher. There's so much energy. You're on the path. You're worthy. You know what I mean? It's all worth it. Yeah. This will make you better. Like all those whispers that come in and that allow you to take more flight. Those were present in the language that they were supposed to speak to me in those moments. And I was very aware and I received them and I listened to them. and I've carried them with me and cherished them. So yes, absolutely. They were, and they will continue to be those wow moments, and I live for wow moments.
Yeah.
And usually I feel like I'm giving to wow moments, but when they give to you, so it's just that extra plane of, thank you. Yes. So.
Absolutely.
Love that. I love it. I can feel it through the screen.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Those were visceral moments. That's why I can't just choose one,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a trick question.
It's so
trick me. Yeah. It's like trying to pick
look, I got it.
You got it. Okay, so switching gears a little bit.
Whoop.
Does representation matter?
Honey!
This is the question of the century.
Does representation matter?
Does it ever? I matter.
Yes.
And art matters. And art's purpose is to serve and reflect community, serve and reflect reality, to shed light on our experience as human beings and connectivity. And if you cannot see yourself in stories, then it's not art.
Right.
So representation absolutely matters, because it also teaches us what we still have yet to represent, what we have not represented correctly, what we have not represented wholly.
Right.
So yeah, it matters immensely. There are many ways to tell stories. There are many ways to make something come to life on a stage, on a canvas, in a space, on a set. And I believe a varied type of human being and individual are charged with that duty, with that privilege. And representation matters because every one of those voices matters, and will make the voices that are telling the stories, writing the stories, in charge of putting the stories out there more accountable, more aware, widen and broaden their reach, widen and broaden the idea of who and why and how stories can be told, and what voices can tell them, and how they can resonate in a way that they never imagined when they produced, when they directed, when they wrote, when they choreographed, when they composed initially. So 100%. Because our connectivity and our representation, it matters, and it makes us better. Yes. The more people we touch, the more people we represent, the better our storytelling will be. But the better our storytelling capacity will be, the better our art will be. The more we'll understand how we're supposed to grow and learn and give and imbue others with the original message that we came up with.
Right.
You can't share it with everyone. Why are you making it?
Right.
Nobody do it.
Absolutely. And
so yes.
Yeah. Well, long answer. Yes. Are you the type of actor, performer, creator, artist who, if you see a breakdown on something and let's say it's specifically asked for, a 20 to 45-year-old woman, a school teacher, I don't know, say there was no particular race on the breakdown. Are you the type of person who's going to go in and be yourself? Are you going to go into what you imagine how would Karen Burthwright be a teacher? Or how are you going in making the actor, the director, choreographer, whoever, look at you to fit this box? Or are you like, I need to go in with a certain about me, because they might not see me as a teacher. They might see me
because of X, Y, and Z. Right.
I feel like the most important part of that question is the fact that race wasn't listed. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the key to that question and the key to my answer. Sure. I will always fail, even if it does say African American, female. That's for the purpose of this, question. I will always fail if I don't bring my version of that to it, regardless of what it says or doesn't say. I'm already losing, and I don't show up to lose because I can't afford to do that. Because sometimes we will lose. Okay? The people in the back here that need to say it loud.
Yes, they heard outside. They heard it across the street.
And the congregation say, I'm just saying, like, there's so many no's in this industry. There's so many times I hear no. So what I'm not going to do is set myself up for a no.
Right.
So I'm going to go in absolutely with my version of a teacher. And the reason why representation, going back to the previous question, matters is that I'm taking every idea and archetype of teacher that I've ever experienced, that I've ever seen, that I've ever had with me. I'm taking my version of how I teach best when I teach to that casting call. That's why I'm going to book it. Regardless of what they had in mind, regardless of which version of this teacher they see as being a true to their idea of teacher. And the more they've participated in fully representative theater, art, music, dance, sculpture, whatever, they'll be aware and be able to see that. So I'm only interested in those people that have done the work to have the proper scope to see me in my truest light. And that's the light I'm bringing to the room regardless. So I'm bringing my version of a teacher. I'm not trying to do, mind you, I'm not saying that I have never seen a teacher portrayed by an actor that identifies differently than myself. I'm not going to use some of that. If I've embraced it and I can imbue it with my truth, absolutely. But it's still my version of their influence that I'm using and seeing and pooling from as my resource. So 100%, I have to show up as me because no one does me like me.
Absolutely. And
if I don't do me, I don't learn from myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't learn from trying to be someone else.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. That was a word. So I hope they all heard it.
In the back? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they heard.
She's the winner. 2020 Merit Award winner. Okay. Outstanding supporting actor.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to two. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need to walk away.
No.
Because
you can say exactly where you are.
Outstanding performance.
I know. Thank you. Honey, the production won, honey. We all won.
The production, however, comma.
Whoops. Let me just take a break.
Let me just okay, thank you. Okay,
I'm just saying.
Proceed.
I shall proceed and continue to rock the mic. I please.
This is it.
Wild.
This is all about. This is what being an artist is all about.
Oh, 100%. Oh, look what I just found. Remember these?
Oh, yes, honey. I still read with it. What you mean?
Speaking of which.
All right. So,
yes.
I guess not really on the same topic, but are there any dream roles or dream shows that are traditionally male or otherwise not for you that you would want to be a part of?
There are tons. I mean, I feel like the answer to that question is all the things you don't get to do. You know what I mean? In whatever pigeonholed roles that you're stuck in because of how you were born, and or the ones you didn't get, and or performances that you saw that blow you away, and the fact that the roles are meaty. The list is pretty long. Yeah. I feel like Sally Bowles in Cabaret, because I must sing maybe this time.
Duh.
I feel like Lola in Kinky Boots.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Cole House Walker in Ragtime.
Yeah.
On that list. I feel like Othello is on that list.
Oh my gosh.
Basically anything James Earl Jones has played on anything ever is on that list. Let's get real and say a word. So yeah, I think any male lead in an August Wilson play is on that list. Jitney Fences, was it Maxon? What's his name? What's that? The son, one of the younger sons. Oh, what the heck is? My brain just went. What is his name? I'm gonna remember. Maxon, Gary Maxon, I believe. Anyway, the younger son that got injured in the war and has like the plate in his head.
Right.
Or yeah, obviously the father, but whatever. I'll age into that, whatever. But I mean, any of that writing, because he did so much homage to that Philadelphia African American community. Like he just spoke his truth and his idea and picture and connection to this community so eloquently and so perfectly. You could just feel the grit. It's almost, you could smell what the neighborhood smelled like in every scene. Like that's how the storytelling was. So I want all of that. I want to eat it all up. Annie, duh. It's a hard knock life for us. The fact that she's a redhead, come through.
Absolutely.
Karen Burthwright is Annie in Annie. Like, what? What's the problem?
Yo, I always make sure I got the ticket front row. I would live.
Where's the problem?
I can't.
Duh, Gollum and Lord of the Rings. Hello. Do I need to become a casting director? Do I need to become a casting director?
No, I got you.
Oh.
This casting is like glorious. Fontina is Usnavi and In the Heights. Duh, because I what?
Right. So good.
Gloria Estefan in On Your Feet, because I forget that woman. And her partner, her hubby, wrote some music, honey. They wrote some songs. And I love me a power ballad. And Just get it. It was just like this emo role, you know.
This is amazing.
Eliza Doolittle, My Fair Lady.
Yes.
Hundo P.
Right.
Hundo P. There's so many. Millie and Thoroughly Modern Millie. Because Sutton Foster, because duh. I'm sure I'll think of more. There are tons.
I love that you have so many. I love that you haven't put yourself in a box and that you're, you're not like, well, I can't be this because traditionally it's white and male or white and female or, old or young.
Yeah.
Like, I love that you don't put yourself in a box, because I feel so often as artists, we're put in boxes, where we are sent out for Black, young woman, hooker, stripper, like it's, you know what I mean? And it's so nice to hear you talk about these things, because why couldn't you be Annie? Why couldn't you?
I feel like, again, it goes back to the representation question and issue. I connect with other entities that are different from myself.
Right.
We also have the same wheelhouse and skill set. Like, that's what people don't realize.
Yeah.
I can do what they can do.
Right.
It's just that I'm not allowed
Sometimes to. Better. You're welcome. Oops.
I'm not afforded the opportunities that they are per se. I identify with greatness because I want to be great myself. And there are many ways to be a storyteller. There are many slashes in someone's, description, whether it be actor, singer, dancer, comedian, teacher, choreographer. I want to do it all, so
you should.
And everything that I have the right to do, not because of my race or because of my sex or my identity, whether it be, gender, socioeconomical class, whatever the case is, height, weight, skin tone, the actual color of my skin, of my beautiful Blackness. I'm not gonna, when you see something that resonates with you that you love and you're like, wow, that's beautiful. The music that person gets to make, the fact that they had to dig that deep to create that character in that truthful moment to convey what they required of the other person they're playing against. That's what makes me want to do that character, play that character. And also so I can see and prove to myself that I can,
right.
And be part of that storytelling. So I think the where and the why of how someone comes to you or how people come to put people in boxes is flawed. And it isn't always correct. Like, sure, there are many boxes I belong inside of, but there are very few people other than me that can tell me what those boxes are.
Okay.
I know what they are. You know what I mean? Yeah.
How do you, when it comes to people that have been placed in a box, I feel like all of us in some capacity have been put in a box when it comes to characters we go out for or things we play. How do we put ourselves in places that we're able to see in, so that we're seen in other untraditional roles when it comes to being a Black woman or a bigger Black woman or petite Black, whatever the case may be? How do we put ourselves in positions so that we're seen, so that when those shows do happen, there is a different type of representation on the stage where usually it wouldn't be seen that way?
I feel like there are many ways to address that question.
Right.
The first is where you have power. My book has power.
Mm-hmm.
What I prepare to sing or read or recite has power. What I choose to write has power. What I choose to produce, if I'm producing, has a lot of power. And how I cast, if I'm able to be part of that discussion. The hot topics are colorblind casting or whatever the case may be. I feel like what you prepare to present when you have the power to do so has a lot of weight and holds a lot of weight. So people go, what did she come in and say? I wasn't expecting or that type to do that. A lot of us don't look like our voices, our vocal type. A lot of us, you know what I mean, don't have the right body proportions for what our dance skills are. You know what I mean? A lot of us have traditional Shakespearean training and don't look like whatever that type is supposed to look like. Whatever that is. It even sounds so foolish to say it. It doesn't even make sense uttering those words. So I think the power lies in what you prepare, what you bring to the table when you have the ability to have control over that, or what type of performance, what type of angle or stank you put on it when you're given said text or said music to prepare. How and where and why. So that's the first thing, what you have control of in terms of your book or what material you're preparing or how you're preparing it. And also what roles you're going out for and what type of theaters you want to work with and at because of what they do and what type of stories they're telling or they're choosing to tell and what their casting history has been like.
Right.
So there's that. I remember speaking to a lovely trans actor when I was teaching in January, and he was like, what do I do? You know, and I'm like, well, you show up to what you want to show up to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you're given the choice to select which character, which role to submit for, you choose the one that you identify with. Mm-hmm. You put a tenor song in your book, boo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
you don't put that mezzo song in your book because that's not who you are.
Yep.
Right.
So that's where the power lies in terms of that. And I mean, it's also about being ready. You know what I mean? If you're already ready, you don't have to get ready.
Okay, stay ready.
I'm just saying, you have to stay ready. You have to stay prepared for whatever is beyond what anyone expects from you. I remember a very specific story. I was doing Disenchanted off Broadway, and I was the dance captain. I covered the princess who kissed the frog, of course. And I obviously had to know everything because I was dance captain. And I was on offstage cover because it was just, the 6 princesses that were in the show. And it was fierce women. The only parameters were that we all had to be kind of the same age cohort so that it kind of read across the board that we were a princess posse.
Right.
Other than that, it was very race and obviously gender specific in terms of who got cast, not that it had to be, I'm just saying what it was. But there was a very faithful historic day where everybody was sick. All the people were sick. So I was sitting in my apartment in Harlem at the time and on the phone texting with, production management saying what's going to happen, what's going on, because, is the show canceled? Because I'm like, stage management, like my combinations aren't adding up because we just don't have enough people. Everyone's on, and I'm African American, so I can only cover the Princess Who Kissed the Frog.
Right.
I'm in my apartment like, okay, I'll figure out what this show could be, but let me tell you something, honey. You about to cancel the show and lose some money.
Hey.
Let me know if I need to get on that A train or not real quick, or else I'm going right back to bed. And so everyone knew it was a smaller cast. We're all texting, what's going on? KB, what's going on? I'm like, girl, I don't know. I'm trying to find out right now.
Okay.
There's still time, probably the show's going to be canceled because, they've obviously stipulated who's covering who.
Right.
A 5, 6, 7, 8 ball change and a 1. Oh, so something. I was just like, in the back of my head, I'm like, let me just go through this script road. Let me just look at this script of this show that I'm doing that's about to get canceled. 12:45 p.m. So KB, is it possible for you to go on for Sleeping Beauty today? You mean the role that I can't cover because I'm not Caucasian? You mean one of the roles that I know because I'm the dance captain and know all of the tracks? I'm in Harlem and it's 12:45, half hour close 1:30. I'm gonna have to get off the phone. I'll see you soon. Full screen. Also not warm because I'm expecting the show to be canceled because what I've been told is that, you know what I mean? Oh, from the beginning, that's the only person I cover because beautiful skin of mine. It's Disney. It's pretend. They're princesses and they're all fierce. But whatever. They have every right to decide, because that's what it is. That's fine. And we had ample coverage, as we do. So, of course, I got on the horn with my agent. I'm like, this is happening. 5, 6, 7, gots to go. No time to chop. Figure it out. Call equity. Bye. Because I don't cover. Yeah.
Right.
But in terms of having the show canceled versus me. So, like, you know, like all the things. Me, all the things. Again, with that script, just going through lyrics that I've heard like so many times. And I watch it. And that's the thing. If you're already ready, you don't have to get ready. So stay ready. I remember cast members ask me, why do you watch the show so much? I'm like, so I can know it inside out. So I can see and get to know each artist's arc. Like I know when you're marking, I know when you're full out. I get to know all the things, what's going to serve you better in terms of how I notate.
Right.
And I just want to know my show. That's my job.
Thank you.
Obviously, if anything goes wrong, I'm there more than I'm not. So you know what I mean? Most of the time you can depend on me being there. So of course, no makeup, no nothing, like rush, get down to the theater, going over harmonies. Because again, things I don't know. I know the show,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, what's going to happen? What I need to have happen? What am I wearing? Also, like, I don't have all the things. So the ultimate, it will never happen story happened to me. The ultimate, that's not your track. You don't cover, even though you know it all. And you were not projected to play these characters happened to me. And also at the very, 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 very last minute.
Right.
So the pressure is also on the person that shouldn't even be having to do this, but happens to know. So I share that story, and I loved everyone I worked with, from management to creators to directors, choreographers, fellow castmates, and everyone. But it was one of those like, are you kidding me? The very thing that you said would never happen is about to happen because it has to, or else the show's canceled. So long story short, I said, this is what I need. I need to know what I'm wearing. I need everything to be set up in my change room for me. Right now, I need to be on stage. I need to learn a few harmonies that I can fake myself through for that day, that I can just hear what actually does she sing. I need to go over, said quick change. I just need to see the backstage track for this one thing and go over traffic for one number. Obviously, I knew everything. It was just about doing it. And also it wasn't just about me. It was about my fellow castmates that never ever thought this would ever happen. And it's about to happen. So this is their show every night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's about to be very different and have a very different feel to it and an unknown feel to it as well.
Right.
We're used to playing together and being rehearsal together, but me in a different capacity.
Right.
So that happened for those two shows on that weekend, and I'll never forget it. Wigs, costumes, like everyone came together, sound, and like made the theater magic that happens. But because I was off book, you see what I'm saying? Because it was my job to do that in a way that happened. So Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. Yeah.
I was a princess, a different princess. Yeah. So
I love that.
So yeah, it's eventually things will happen. And again, at the end of the day, the reason why that happened is not just because I knew it. It's because I could do it.
Absolutely. And you put in the work, but you did, right? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, it happens. And so it never happened again, but it happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was like, it was unheard of. It was just beyond the realm of possibility. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was a lot of sweating, a lot of breathing. Right. Having stage manager shadow me backstage, like every exit, every entrance, to make sure I was like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's the onus is on the actor to produce and to, and there've been many stories of this, actors going on with their script on the stage to save the show because they haven't been rehearsed and for safety issues and whatever. But there you go, something that I was never supposed to do. That I got then. My friend Bobby Pins, he went out in between shows and bought me a wig because I was wearing my Princess Who Kissed the Frog. I didn't. I'm doing my wig prep and like being like doing harmonies for like, it was cray.
Right.
But it can happen, and again, it happens because it can. In the end, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm funny. I can belt. I'm a princess. Let's do this. Like what?
Oh, why not?
She's a princess.
I've been telling people for years I'm a princess. Finally, someone understands me.
So speaking of fierce females princesses, who are some of, or one of, or whoever, however many, who are your female influences in life and in art, and how have they influenced you?
Oh, so many. I feel like it's seeing myself in them, their excellence, their fearlessness, whatever combination of obstacles and barriers they've overcome to get to the place that they are. The fact that I respect their craft, the fact that they are unapologetically them, the fact that I'm in awe of their gift and that they had the wherewithal to share said gift. I feel like these are all the themes about them that they have in common. So, you know, Angela Bassett, Lena Waithe, Ava DuVernay, Susan Marie Parks, Meryl Streep, Angela Bassett, you know, because Tina Turner in many ways. Yeah, you know. Shonda Rhimes. Obviously, our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, because she's just goals on every platform and in every level. There's so many people. My mommy. She influences me a lot, yeah. Again, like the strength and the fearlessness, the fact that they don't concentrate on the I can'ts, especially as predominantly Black women in the list that I listed. And that's why representation matters.
Right.
I can acknowledge excellence and greatness in anybody. I'm a huge fan. Do you ask me women specifically, or was it men as well?
Women, but I mean.
Yeah. So if for an instance, you know, it doesn't have to be someone that looks exactly like me, but it makes sense that they would.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it goes back to what I'm saying about I can't achieve something that was meant for someone else. And the idea that someone that looks like me is achieving what they have and do and will continue to makes me even prouder to be me, because I see them doing it and they have done it. Therefore, I know it's possible. What's for me is for me. And the more I have in common with people that I look up to, the more that can resonate with me to imbue me with the pride and the courage and the wherewithal and the strength and the knowledge that it's possible as they're doing it. Oh, there's so many people. Obviously Queen Bee. Beyonce. Miss Nasty, who had a birthday like 3 days ago or something. Eartha Kitt.
Yes.
Hattie McDaniel, the first African-American woman to win an Oscar. There are so many people. Writers, Audre Lorde, Bell Hooks, Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston.
I love Toni.
Yeah, there are I'm trying to think of more people who I either see their work or have been exposed to their work and I'm just breathless after, you know what I mean? Or more importantly, I feel more connected to who I am after.
Yeah.
They give me, they feed me, they nourish me because of their achievements. And that's the thing. When you get to the top, or as you're climbing up to the top, if you're not looking back to bring people up with you, I don't know what the heck you're doing.
Okay.
You get there yourself. You didn't build that ladder. You know what I mean? You didn't give yourself the DNA to have the wherewithal to bend your knee and to climb the ladder. So you have to give back and bring people up with you. And that's what I think reaching for your goals and crushing them does. And also being unafraid to open up your heart and give to the greater community what you were meant to do. They are fulfilling their purpose on a level that I aspire to all the time, every day. So yeah, the list is pretty large. Lorraine Hansberry, Maya Angelou. There's so many. Viola Davis, the Golden Girls. Yeah, like anyone that's just like fierce and unafraid. You know what I mean? Like just
totally
excellence and awesome, and obviously, you know, barrier breakers. I love someone that can break down a wall, so I can just, hey, I'm here. You know, so every door you walk into, you didn't open yourself.
Okay.
So,
again.
Some you did, some you had a hand in, but a lot of them, someone else's fingerprints were on that door before yours, and so there's some blood, sweat, and tears on them too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, my list is very, very long, and I'm so grateful. And I mean, obviously, I'm a proud Black woman. It's funny that we're talking about art and representation and artistry. It's funny that my Blackness, my femaleness, and my artistry are the three things I'd never change about myself. And they're the things that I hold the most dear. Like, I feel like that's not an accident.
Yeah, Absolutely.
And I identify my greatness and being most alive when I am doing all those things, especially together at the same time. And I acknowledge those things when I lean in and just, I shine. That's where my light comes from. So I find that's very ironic. Sorry.
I love it. No,
extrapolate a little bit, little tangential.
No, that's
cool. Just then.
Great.
So beautiful.
It really is. And so to kind of tie into our last question, I mean, you've kind of been answering it this whole time, but what motivates you to want to continue to create?
Because I have to. I have to do what I was meant to do. I have to do what I'm meant to do. I have to do what I'm meant to do best.
Yeah.
Or else I'm not participating in what I was meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
That means I'm not fulfilling my purpose. That means I'm not showing up. That means I'm not full out. That means I'm not going to learn. That means I'm not going to give. That means I'm not going to receive. All in the ways that matter to me, that I resonate with, that I understand. Being an artist isn't something that's separate from myself. It is who I am. And until I find something that I can do that well or better, until I find something that I want to do that well or better, I have no business not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be miserable. I want to be happy. Even on the worst of days, I have what I love. I have what I'm supposed to do. I have something that I want to do better today than I did yesterday. And that's what's important to me, to be of service, to be connected to something that I believe in, that I want to grow in and really achieve excellence in. I love what I do. I love being an artist. I absolutely love it. You can give me like 2 weeks straight of 10 out of 12s and I'd be grateful. You know, it's where I want to be on the most challenging of days, on the most trying of days. Because if I'm doing something that I truly am invested in, that means I'm plugged in to it in the way that I am going to learn and grow, and I'm going to afford that opportunity in others around me, and I'm going to be aware of that in others around me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to share and collaborate and hopefully create something beautiful that helps and inspires and transports someone else to the place that they need to go and be, to a place that they need to experience. So yeah, it's what feeds me. So I love it. I love it so, so, so much. The people I get to meet, the place I get to travel to, the things I've learned about myself, about life, the connection to a wide range of people.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be age or religion or gender identity or sex, or race or socioeconomic. Like I've worked with everybody, you know what I mean? And in some vocations, you're not afforded that opportunity. You don't have that wide range of people that you get to work around in an environment where you're open and available and vulnerable and working toward a common goal. So you see each other as equals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you get a more representative cross section of reality in terms of community. Truly, like work with a lot of different types of people. I've been in rooms and in contact with people. I've touched them. I've had conversations with them. I've cried with them. I've laughed with them. I've heard them. I've listened to them. I've acknowledged them. And they have done so to me. And so I think that theater and art and entertainment and the performing arts in general are a gift for that reason, and for many others, but for that reason in particular. My scope of the world and my connection to people that are other than me has been wider through this vocation. And I'm very, very grateful for that. That, you know, like multilinguist, there's so many people that do this.
Yeah.
And they don't all look like me. And that's amazing.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, I was getting emotional as you were talking.
Yeah, me too.
I know, me too.
I'm not to. It's bigger than us, you know, and especially with what we're going through right now, this is the industry that we've depended on to get us through, to keep us sane. And it's going to be what the community at large depends on and misses the most as it slowly gets back to whatever it's going to be post-pandemic, post-vaccine. post, hopefully, a lot of people getting healthy and recovering.
Yes, please.
Arts, please. Yeah, exactly. And the things that are being born in the artistic community right now, like this wouldn't be happening in this way for this purpose if this didn't happen, for instance. If we weren't afforded the time or the inspiration because of this circumstance to do this. So all the artists will emerge out of this in a different version of themselves and come through to elevate, to lift, to inspire, to bring people together, to help people decode and understand and cope and vent and express and overcome what we've all experienced over the past 9 weeks. Right. It's going to be up to us. And I already was a part of it, but I definitely want to be a part of it going forward. And I feel like all the things that we're going to get to do again, finally, talking about emotion, are going to be so rife with emotion and pride and just acknowledgement of survival and achievement. Mm-hmm. And again, it's going to build new types of communities on a different level, on a different plane, where we're just going to be proud to still be here, to have survived it, and to survive together, and have a language to speak, to give to others, to speak, to understand, and to cope with what has happened. Right. And to acknowledge and look back and be like, I'm so proud to still be here, and I'm doing what I love to do in this new version of it, or in this, obviously slow progression toward the new version of it. It's going to be up to artists, 100%. And I'm going to be right there for whatever and whenever that happens.
Let's go.
Okay.
Fouettes or pirouettes on roller skates?
First of all, never a fouette, ever, especially on the left. Absolutely not. On roller skates, I'm going to go ahead and choose a sensible pirouette on a roller skate.
Fair enough.
Now, on a figure skate, I would give you a fierce fouette, honey.
Okay, come on.
That's how I do. But on a roller skate, let me just go ahead and do the pirouette. Yeah.
Dancing or singing on a full stomach?
Hashtag neither.
True.
Dancing, singing.
Okay.
Yep.
How good are you at keeping secrets?
Oh, amazing! I have secrets from the 4th grade, honey. Yeah. I have a vault. Listen, I am a vault of information. The things I know, and people don't know that I know. Yep, I'm amazing. I'm really good.
How do you feel about the word moist?
Sorry.
Maybe cringe as it came out of my mouth.
That's how I feel about that word.
Absolutely, I understand.
It's disgusting.
It is.
Yeah. No thanks. I'm good. It's like onomatopoeia, but not onomatopoeia. Like it's gross.
Questions aren't even for me, and I can't.
Hard pass.
That was fun. You see.
Hard pass. Exit stage left. Thanking you.
Hi. Dumpling or festival?
Hold on. If I gotta choose, me can't choose between them two together. So me want them both. Listen, remember your audience, a media audience for this. Dumpling or festival. That's like life or life. Water or sunshine. What if you choose? I both of them me want. Me choose both. Go ahead. Next question. Pass.
Is double dipping at a party acceptable?
Absolutely not. You're kicked out of my house. We're no longer friends. That's disgusting.
Thank you.
Never. Turn that carrot around, dip it on the other side, or get it.
Not turn that carrot around. I can't.
I'm done. I'm done with that.
Can you do?
So again, sorry, I didn't hear that.
How many pull-ups can you do?
How many pull-ups, in one set?
Yes.
Probably. At my current weight? Absolutely not. Quarantine weight. I can do no pull-ups because no one can pull this up. Evolved, because I speak the truth. Thank you, gospel. Probably pull-ups, probably 7.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 7.
Give me a fair 7.
I'm still at 0, so it's fine.
Listen, we're not even going to get into it. If you could give yourself a nickname other than KB, what would it be?
That's me going through all the nicknames I already have and like not choosing them. If I could give myself a nickname, it's a fun question. If I could give myself a nickname, oh my gosh, tall girl, duh.
Clearly.
Stoscious, Miss Stoscious.
Yes.
Yeah, Stoscious, yeah, Stoscious, Miss Stoscious, thanks.
Amazing. Stale crackers or unsalted peanuts?
Unsalted peanuts. Absolutely nothing stale. Thank you, including my choices. You're welcome.
You're welcome. And finally, at what age would you like to retire?
Never. Absolutely not.
That one.
Retire? No, thanks.
Thank you.
No age. Retirement. Doing different things, doing what I do differently, sure, in different capacities, absolutely. But like, I imagine continuing to learn and grow and doing this forever. And like, imagine me, like, age 91 walking into a dance class to teach a bunch of that's amazing.
I see
to run a panel and be on like the actor studio. Absolutely. Retire for what? To talk in the past tense? No, I want to still talk in the present tense no matter what age. Please, Lord, please.
Yes, I want that for you too.
Yes.
I do indeed.
Yeah.
Well, KB, you're the best. Thank you so much for this. This was enlightening. It was eye-opening. It was emotional.
Yes, I'm about to cry after. It's fine.
And it's also right on time. So thank you both. Thank you so much for this and what you're doing and musical tokens. And yes, thank you.
Doing our part.
Mwah.
All right. We love you.
We love you back.
So much, KB. Love
you so much. Mwah, mwah.
Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and visit our website, musicaltokens.com, for your daily dose of